issue. Okay. Anyone out there, thoughts on what a connected educator is, what they do, actions of a connected educator?
They trouble
Connected.
technology problem.
Christine, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think they keep up to date online with different blogs and different teachers doing things in their classroom using technology and what they're doing to keep their students engaged.
Good, I agree with that. Who else was out there trying to jump in? Kind of sounded like Jared Kovili, but I don't know if he's on or not.
I'm
Anyone?
on.
Was that you trying to jump in there?
I was just saying a connected educator deals with technology problems.
Hopefully not all the time, every day, but it seems to happen sometimes too.
Some of them
Like to me. Yeah,
yeah.
I know. It's me. So I bring it on myself, but there's always a plan B, or at least I hope there's always a. I think a connected educator always has a plan B as well to make sure that if they do encounter some issues that they can overcome those. Anybody else have any thoughts? Okay. So in the discussion this week, Canvas lists many of those traits. Some that we mentioned, some, many more that we didn't. But take a look through that list, and then in your discussion this week, talk about how you would define the connected educator. Which of those identified skills in the Canvas course do you eagerly practice? Do you practice reluctantly? Which skills do you still need to work on? And again, refer to chapter 1 of the course. If you'd like, with your response, we'll talk more about chapter 1 of the course text here in a bit. And then remember that your initial posts need to use one of these enhanced discussion post options and should be posted by Sunday night. So it doesn't have to be video like through Screencastify or through Canvas. We've added a few more options from the last class if you were in the last class. Different ways, different tools you can use to respond to each weekly prompt. So the link there goes to a page in Canvas, and that page is also linked in each week's discussion to refer back to on what we're looking for in your initial posts. So remember, have that posted. Try to have it done by Sunday night, and then by Wednesday evening, take a look at and respond to, in a thoughtful way, at least two other classmates' post. Since some of these classes are kind of big, and Jared, maybe I think you've got the biggest group. If these videos, and if it gets daunting and you can't keep up with 48 other people's videos, focus in on a handful. Just pick a chunk of the discussion and focus in on that, and respond to those people in a meaningful way. I know you can't go through and because if everyone does like a 3-4 minute video and there are 50 people in the room, that's several hours worth of time. You agree with that, Jared? You okay with that approach?
I agree that it is several hours worth of time to watch everything.
Yes, because as instructors, we try to do that and interact with everybody. But
love your suggestion.
Yeah. Okay.
Just find a few people that you feel like you can connect with, and that's a great place to start.
All righty. Any other questions on the discussion for the week? Okay. The assignment this week is take a look at the Future Ready framework on curriculum instruction and assessment. The Gear 1 self-assessment. Throughout these next 7 weeks when we look through these different gears, I found the self-assessments really, really helpful with that. If you're in a position where you're not in a classroom, maybe take a look at it on your district level or at a school level, how your school or how your district is doing on these different traits and frameworks and things like that. And then so once you've gone through and looked at those different areas, the expectations, turn into Canvas no more than 2-page double-spaced paper answering the following questions in there. And again, this is all in the assignment. There are 5 different elements in this gear. Address the level of emphasis your district places on 21st century skills. Who can name one of those 21st century, one of the 4 C's for us for extra bonus points, besides Jared and Brandon? 4 C's of 21st century learning. Bryce, you got one? Oh, you were open, now you muted it, so you're out. Okay, that's fine. So, Jared, Brandon, do you want to jump in with one? I
think that is getting some.
Who is?
The chat.
Was one of them curriculum?
No. Oh, we do. Let's take a look at the chat here. Collaboration is one. Yes.
Oh, there you go.
Communication.
Critical thinking.
Critical thinking, and see, I always forget the last one.
Creativity.
Creativity. Good job. All right. Between 50 of us, we can come up with those.
We got the 4 C's. Hey, Quinn, do you want to talk about the rubric for the writing?
I've got it in here.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, yes.
Yep. So, address the level of emphasis in your district places on 21st century skills. Address the policy your district has set regarding student use of the student uses of technology. Address how technology is used in your district to provide students with the opportunity to engage in rich, authentic work within real-world contexts. And again, if this is geared at a district level, so replace district with school, or in your, if you have no idea what everyone else in your school is doing, say in my classroom, replace district with classroom. How are you addressing these things? Address the elements of digital learning environment that are either available now in your district or included in your plan, your digital teaching and learning plan moving forward. And then educational professors in our district are expected to present evidence to inform curricular, instructional, and administrative decisions to justify resource selection and to support instructional approaches. And I'm just going to warn you now, going through these gears, no district and no school is going to be perfect on all of these. This is like the ideal overview, like goals you should be, reaching towards. And so if you're low in some areas, there's no shame in that. And again, keep it brief. If you want to pick one element where you guys are doing really well and then another element where you're struggling and write about those two, that's cool. However you want to approach that. There's really no one perfect or correct way to do these assignments. Just kind of, reflect upon what works for you and what you have feelings and knowledge about. In the assignments, we have had some questions this week. In the rubric there is, and some of you may have noticed and some of you didn't look at the rubric, but there is, demonstrates proper use of APA style. Mostly we've been ignoring that. This came straight from Tony Pellegrini's class in Canvas at SUU. And again, they're graduate level courses, and these are graduate level courses. But we're not going to get as hung up on, strict APA style as you may have in the, in a real university setting. But if you do use other sources, we would like you to cite those and footnote those sources if you are referencing them in your writing. I can take a minute and show you how to do it in Google Docs. There's a really great tool that makes it really easy to do. Brandon, do you want to add anything before I show that, or Jared?
No, I think that's good.
Okay.
Yeah, the only thing that I told anybody was just the same thing you just mentioned. If you're using an outside resource, just make sure that you give them credit.
Okay.
If you don't do it exactly like APA, it's not a deal breaker, but
Right.
it's more important that you just cite the source.
All right. And so if you're writing in Google Docs, yes, Nicole, go ahead. I see you raised your hand. Unmute
I'm
yourself.
just wondering if we're responding to just like the reading that, like this last week, to that link. Do you want us to cite the link? Because I didn't cite it this week because I wasn't sure if I needed to, or it was only using that site.
Oh, the site that we gave you?
Mm-hmm.
No,
Yes.
that's fine. Yeah. Yeah, I think if we're giving it to you, that's probably okay. But so can you guys see this document on my screen? All right, so let's say I want to
Yes,
cite
yeah.
reference this Future Ready survey. This is the actual paper I wrote last year when I was a student in this class. So what you can do, if you've already got a link in there, it's kind of, you can sometimes copy that link and paste it. If you've never used the Explore tool in Google Docs down here in the bottom right, you can also get to it under Tools, Explore. Excuse me. It's a cool little thing that opens up a sidebar, a little Google search sidebar. And then in here, I can search for 21st century skills or future ready class or survey. And if I enter that, I get some web results. I'm like, oh, let's take a look at this one. And this is the page we're working off of. So if I want to cite that as my source, if I just close this tab, it opens up. Or if any of these I want to use as a source, I'm going to put my cursor next to the link or the place where I got it from. Hover over here on the right, you can see a little cite as footnote, a little quotation bubble come up. I just click the bubble. Hey, Austin, can you mute your microphone? Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. So there it is. It puts a little 1 in there. And then down below, Framework Future Ready Dashboard, there's the link when I accessed it. And that is in APA form, or that's MLA format, which is fine. As long as you're citing your source, Google has this cool little Explore tool that will help you with that. And you guys have all been through college, you know how to cite and footnote and do things like that. Even if you just put anything that you reference at the end of the paper, that is cool with us. Questions on that? All right. And since we have addressed that now, we will make sure that, if you are referencing something, make sure that you're doing that. But again, it won't be strict APA style. So questions about week 2? Anyone out there? Going once? Okay. At this point, we're going to go through and overview the course. Brandon or Jared, if you need to jump off or if you want to stick around, that's cool. Where are you at, Jared, by the way? Are you in my office?
I'm in my dad's driveway.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, so I'm in Nebo. I'm supposed to be in Cedar City. Jared's supposed to be in Salt Lake, but he's down in Cedar City. So
Yeah, I'm in my car in my dad's driveway right now.
Jared did my job in Washington today, so I thank him for that. And we're just all over the place today. So,
Well, thanks, guys. I'm going to bounce.
all right. All right, and if you guys are cool with the week and you don't need to review the expectations for the course, feel free to drop off. We're just going to go through this stuff again to have it in the recording so that people can refer back to it if needed. So, any other questions before you guys go? Okay. So,
Please contact us if questions do come up.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to reach out to us.
great
please.
point. Please do. All right. So why do we have 4 instructors? We are all teaching the same course out of the same content. Brandon is doing it for the Q's region. I'm facilitating the course for the SCDC region. Carol Neff is leading it for folks in Davis District. And Jared Covilli is taking Tony Pellegrini's spot and is teaching this course for the rest of the state of the folks who are trying to get this endorsement done. It's been kind of a bottleneck in the past few years because Tony Pellegrini at SUU was the only one offering the class. And so we're reaching out and trying to get more people through the endorsement in a faster amount of time. So offering this class for them. I don't know if Tony is online or not. He's always welcome to join these and has an open invitation, but we liberally stole and borrowed this curriculum from him, and he was gracious enough to help us get going with that. They do offer a master's program. If you finish up these 3 core courses, he will take those 9 credits plus one more elective, one other class, Brandon. Is that right? Up to 4 classes to jump into their master's program, already a third of the way done with it. So if you have questions about that, contact Tony. His email is pellegrini@suu.edu, and I probably ought to pop that in here right now. He said he's the only Pellegrini at SUU so far. suu.edu. So if you have questions about that endorsement or want to work on your master's that way and use these credits as a jumping off point, feel free to do that. This class feels the last, at least the third of the 3 core classes that we've offered this year. These courses are being offered fall, spring, and summer through UEN year round. They might be offered by other service centers and other places at other times. I think our plan with SEDC is we're going to offer these courses every other year and then work on filling these other 9 credits the other years. The 9 credits total for the UEN and technology tools. There are 3 credits required for UEN, different UEN tools, and then 5 courses aligned to the 5 different ISTE standards for teachers, and then 2 electives. And then you also need to attend 1 technology conference. URSA, Utah Rural Schools Conference, coming up in July at SUU is a good one if you're down south. If you're up north, USET in March is a great option. Ed Camp at the University of Utah in November is a good option. That'll work. Ed Camp St. George in February will work. Or if your district does its own little technology, day-long kind of technology conference, those will work too. Just check with
Google
us.
Summit in June.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Nebo Google Summit. We'll be down the road about 2 miles in June for the Google Summit. That'd be a great one to go to. That'd be a fantastic conference. So if you're not sure if anything will count on that technology conference elective, ask your instructor and he'll say, yeah, that'll work, or that's probably not enough. An hour-long training after work one day won't cover it. It needs to be at least 1 full day. Let's see, Marcy, 3 courses. I guess I better open up the chat. Or can you monitor that chat, Brandon? Let's see. So through SCDC, we're probably not going to offer these classes next year. It's going to take you about 2 years altogether, 1.5 years, at least 2 years, to finish up the endorsement. So we're not going to offer the core classes next year. We'll do the UEN and the technology tools courses next year. Does that make sense? At least at SCDC. I can't speak for Brandon or anybody else.
It looks like Hughes will probably offer them next year, continuing offering them, and UEN will offer them as well.
Okay, so you guys will?
It looks like we will offer
Okay.
them, yes.
All right. And so if you need to get them done and Brandon's nice and he's got space, you could ask. UEN will be offering them through Tony Pellegrini, but again, that's 50 spots statewide. It's just been
Contact me, Marcy. I'll get you in.
Yeah, we'll get you in somewhere.
Kim, if that is the one that if I do offer it, then yes, it will be offered through Q's. It looks like it will happen though.
Okay. Moving on. We good?
Yep, I think so.
Okay. Now I'm on the wrong slide here. Okay. There we go. So this course is going to basically hover around and work through the 7 gears of the Future Ready framework. This is a framework that districts have used to build their 3-year, their 5-year technology plans going forward. Many of the districts, if you're familiar with the Utah Digital Teaching and Learning Grant, most of the districts in the state have written that grant and have followed this framework to figure out their vision and plan for going 5 years down the road. So we're going to work through it on your school, class, district level, and get your thoughts and have you think through these considerations and things like that. So the first week, this week is going to be curriculum, instruction, and assessment, and then the following weeks after that, we'll work through each one of those gears and write a paper for that. So the overview of the course, we will have our weekly discussions based on the readings or the assignments. Your original post is due by Sunday night, and I should have put a link in there for that. The original enhanced post, maybe I'll just put that here in quotes. So pretty much anything except for just a straight text response to the prompt is acceptable for that. We just want you exploring, getting used to using video, getting used to seeing yourself on camera, or exploring those other tools that are out there to convey a message or to get your point across. We just want you to expand your horizons when you have some time in the summer to experiment with some of these things. And then in response to those original posts, at least 2 responses to your classmates that move the discussion forward in a meaningful way by Sunday night, or by Wednesday night, excuse me. Get more from one, yeah, and we want you guys to stay current with these discussions. If you get behind on some of the assignments, we'll discuss that here in a bit. That's okay. You can work ahead a little bit. You can get, but we'd like you to stay current with the discussions, because you learn way more from each other than you do from your instructors in this. This course is about you and is driven by you guys. We'll do our best to kick in and offer help and feedback where we can. But again, you guys just learn from each other and share amazing things. And it's really, the discussion is the best part of this class. So, Brandon, you want to add anything to that?
No, I think that's great. Just spend the time looking over the discussion posts. And like was mentioned, don't worry about reading all 50 posts.
Yeah, if it gets overwhelming,
Grab a handful.
focus in on a couple and respond to those, and have that good discussion that way. But is there a question out there? Kim, do you have a question? Kimberly Brown? Okay. Kim, will you mute your microphone if you don't have a question? Thank you much. All right, so the weekly readings. There is the text for this course is The Connected Educator, Learning and Leading in a Digital Age. Last week we said that the full text and weekly chapters are in Canvas and PDF. That was a lie. We've had that available in the last 2 courses, and when we were building the slides for last week, we assumed that they were there for this course. We haven't been able. Brandon has found a few areas to get those. Maybe I'll let him.
Links.
Yeah, there was one that freebooks.biz or something like that.
Use your credit card number. And
Yeah,
get the book.
we're afraid it'd be kind of a malware site. If we pointed you there, you might infect your computer. So the ebook, our Overdrive library through SEDC has 3 copies. If you're in my section, let me know if you want to try to get access to one of those, or how to get to those. I know Carol in Davis, they've added that ebook into their Overdrive. Brandon, you said you're working on getting that
Teach us
done.
also want to get the ebook. Yes.
Yeah, so you should be able to access a limited number of copies through that in Overdrive. If you know how to read in the browser, if you don't download the book, that'll keep that copy available to everybody else, but you can still access it in the web browser, read through it, make notes, things like that. But just refrain from trying to download it to a device, so that book can be available to more people throughout the course. If you want a paper version of it, Brandon has found the link there from the publisher to buy it. How much was it? Do you remember?
It was $23 or something.
Yeah. And it's about 30 on Amazon. Is that right?
Yeah.
Around there, 27 or something. So those 2 links are there if you want to buy the paper version. And then Brandon has a link there for free
The
reproducible.
publishers have some free things from the book, some other activities or learning helps.
Great.
Publish.
So we do, this text is required. It's like the only book for the whole entire endorsement that we're asking you to get. But if, financially you're not in that position, there are a few ebook copies available. And so if you're curious about those, reach out to your instructor and we'll point you to where you can get it.
Hey, Clint.
Yeah.
I did let the tech directors from our region know for those in charge of the endorsement. So Dak's going to reach out with your North Sound people and going to talk to you to see what they can do on their side to help you out with the textbook.
Yeah.
I know I haven't heard back from Severe or Julep yet.
Yeah, or maybe reach out to your principals and ask them if they've got 30
Get a
bucks
school
to,
copy.
yeah, get a copy for the school or whatever. That's a great idea. And then we will link to supplemental readings from time to time each week. Normally those go along with the discussions. Okay. And then we will have assignments each week. The first 9 weeks look at those different aspects of future ready schools. Week 10, you'll be writing a memo to your superintendent. Look at requirements to interview peers. Yeah, so there's some, if you want to look ahead at that to see what's going to be coming up. Because again, if you're going to be gone during summer and you can't reach anybody, take a look at that week 10 to see who you're going to need to talk to before that point. And there's also through weeks 1 through 9, you may need to have a few conversations with your administrator or your principal. So maybe reach out to them now to say, hey, I might need to bend your ear or talk to you about a few different things with this course I'm taking. Joined late. Give it a second, connect your computer audio, check your speakers. Audio's working in the meeting as far as I know, Brandon. You can still hear us and I can still hear you. Yeah, so check your speakers, Joy. Let's see. Week 11 is tech training. We'll talk about that here in a second. And then week 12 is a lesson plan modification, adding some sort of technology. And please don't just reuse a lesson plan you've used, other places or in other classes. We want this to be a new lesson, not one from a previous course that you're, taking a look at a different, part of your curriculum or a different class or whatever to integrate technology into. Seminar, we're here. We're going to meet every Thursday at 4 o'clock. Between the 4 instructors, we will take turns taking the lead on that. Your instructor may be in the seminar each week. They might not be. I will not be in attendance next week. Brandon has excused me for a trip to Southern California, so I appreciate that. I think Carol's taking the lead next week. So we will try to keep them short. This one will run a little longer because we are going through the whole course. We wanted to have a record of that. There's a link to my WebEx room. That's where we'll meet each week. We will do our best to record each session. Last week didn't go so well. You're not required to attend live, but you will be responsible for the content and the instructions given in those classes. And then once the recording's done, I will do my best to post it to my YouTube channel as quickly as possible. This one obviously won't be going because I'm going to be in a car about 2 minutes after we get off line here. So I will try to have that posted by tomorrow for you guys to review. Comments, Brandon, on those, the assignments or the seminar? Did I miss anything?
No, I think just let your principals know that how to get in contact with them in June. If you need an email or phone call or text or whatever, best way to run some things past them, get some numbers from them or something.
So that week 11, your final project, that is your technology training. We realize that you're probably not going to be able to do a technology training in late July for your district. So we're asking you to create a plan, build a slideshow, do a screencast, build a hyperdoc, whatever. We want you to plan to do a technology training in your school or in your district. We want you to go through with it and do it because it's, you don't really learn anything until you have to teach it to somebody else, and every teacher should really know that. So we want you to build a plan and execute that, build a plan for that training to turn into us. And then if you could do the training, for the beginning of school or sometime, as a part of your weekly, monthly faculty meeting or whatever, that'll work. Let's see. Marcy to everyone, several teachers. I'm going to say, Brandon, are you okay with pairing up to do a training? I don't want 6 people doing one joint presentation.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I'll say you
We'll
can
make that decision for the other two also.
Yeah, and we'll let them make that decision for our class. Pairing up is acceptable, but I don't want
Pairing.
no more than 2 in one training. Yeah, if they're on different topics, that's great, Marcy. Yeah. Yep. Thank you, Pam. Appreciate it. Have a good weekend. But it's not Friday yet, is it? Just turn the lights. Cool. I'm done. All right. Thank you. All righty. So work in pairs, and we'll make that. Brandon, will you add a note to make sure that requirement's spelled out in our class?
Yep, we'll do.
Okay. All right. These are our please keep in mind, our pleas to you. This is a pass-fail course. It's not a ABCDF sort of course. Joy, yeah. Anything you've learned throughout the course, any technology tool, things you guys are, using in your district, any new tool that is being pushed out in your district, anything you come across that's fun to you that you want to share with your teachers. Yeah, it doesn't have to be on anything specific, just some sort of educational technology tool or service or something like that. So yeah, pass-fail course. And that means that every assignment needs to be completed 100% of the way. Please don't put us in a position to fail you. We're nice guys and we're lenient, almost maybe to a fault sometimes, but the expectation is that this is a graduate level course and it is a rigor. We want to make sure that this class has, the adequate amount of rigor for 3 graduate level credits. So please, you need to make sure that every assignment is done to the best of your ability. But we realize that life happens. So if you're going to be late for a discussion or for assignment or anything, please let us know. Again, priority is on keeping up with the discussions. If you come in a month after everyone has moved on and you kind of shout into the wind, it doesn't do you or anybody in the class any good. If you do get behind on some assignments, that's fine because it's just coming to your instructor. But please try to keep up as best you can because we don't want to see you try to make up, 8 weeks in one because you won't remember anything, you won't get anything out of it, and it's probably better for you to, take the credit some other time. Let's see. Weekly assignments are due Wednesday by midnight, so each week the new content opens up Thursday at 12:01 a.m. Everything's due the following Wednesday night by midnight. It's actually 11:59, so make sure you have your stuff in before it strikes 12. Let's see. Check the comments. Brandon and I and all the rest of the instructors will try to, if you haven't finished the assignment or whatever to expectation, we'll make a comment back, and that'll show up in your Canvas email. If you don't see those notifications, you may want to check in Canvas in your notifications. Let me show you where that is real fast. That is not where I wanted to go. So in Canvas, kind of got some buttons hiding. On the far navigational page, there is your little silhouette there, your account. And under notifications, please make sure that you have some sort of notification set up. If you prefer text messages, do that. But due dates and if, let's see, where's the discussions, groups, alerts, administrative notification? Is it up on top?
I think it's
Announcements. Make sure you're getting announcements immediately. Submission comments. There we go.
there you go.
Make sure you're at least getting like a daily digest of those or immediately. The check mark means immediately. The clock is a daily digest. Since we're making the assignments and comments, I get a weekly or a daily. Let's see, what are those? It's not telling me what they are. Immediately, daily, weekly,
daily, weekly,
or don't bother me with it. So, check your settings and make sure you're getting those. The Canvas is telling you things that you need to be aware of. So, let's see. We're locking modules 3 weeks out. So this week you should be able to see week 2, 3, and 4. So you can work up to 3 weeks out. We've kind of came to an agreement as everyone that we don't want you just to, again, fly through and make your discussion and get everything posted, 8 weeks ahead of time, because again, that discussion won't do you any good if if you think you're finished and you're checked out with it. So we'll let you work 3 weeks ahead. And again, if you're going to be gone somewhere or need more time, just let us know. And then when everything's said and done and you've completed everything and have passed the course, we will give you a score on an assignment called Course Complete, and that will open up the credit request module that will give you access to the SUU credit form, and from there on you can send in your check, fill out the form, send in your check to SUU to get the credit. Questions on that? Brandon, you want to add anything?
I got nothing from my side.
Okay. All right. And then last thing, I love this graphic here. You know, we only see the surface. So if there's something festering deep down inside and you're just frustrated or can't get to it, just reach out. Let us know if you're having issues or problems or heartburn or whatever. We are very flexible and very forgiving and very understanding, but don't take advantage of that. You know, we don't want you to get 4, 5, 6 weeks behind and try to get caught up in a day or two. You have access to this course 24 hours a day, 7 days a week from anywhere that you have a computer or a cell phone. Try to, get the Canvas app and you can check in on discussions and do stuff from your phone or from a tablet or whatever. You've got time to get to all this stuff. So, and this class is much less, I don't want to say tedious. There's a lot fewer moving parts in this class than there was in the last one. It's basically the discussion.
More straightforward.
Yeah, it's more straightforward. There's a discussion and an assignment each week. So you should have plenty of time to be super successful with this class throughout the summer. So anything else? Questions, concern, joke? All right, it is getting close to 5 o'clock. Joy's getting tired. She's can't hold that head up. She's got to keep that right hand and keep her head up. So let's look for a great week. Success is ahead. You guys this is a great course. You're going to enjoy it. And we look forward to learning from you guys. So anything else? Brandon, anything else you want to talk about?
After we're done here.
All right. Thank you. Go home. I'm going to get back on the freeway and try to make it to Cedar City by 7 o'clock. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. Have a fantastic week. Good luck ending school if it's ending for you guys next week before we meet again. Have fun with your kiddos that last week. And I'll stop talking so you guys can get out of here.
Thank you.
Yep. Thanks, guys. See ya.
Thank you.